pay their bills on time. They may have one or two blemish in there, but they have made the correction of that. And so they have been paying their bills. So if they decide to bundle all of those loans that have those credit scores, they can easily sell that to an investor. That's money in the pocket. That's actually where the money is a buying and selling notes, to really be honest with you. Okay. That's another story, and that's a whole nother monster. So they do these things and set those criteria that way. So what you do when you go to Bank A and it says, hey, man, your credit score is at 580 and you got to be at 620 to get an FHA loan here. Okay, because we can't do you. No problem. Thank you very much. Can I force them to give me a loan? No, you cannot. So you go to lender B. Lender B said, well, you need to be at 640 here. Well, wait a minute. Lender A told me 620, but I can still get FHA loan for 580. How come I can't get it here? Well, you can't get it here. So then you go to lender C where your 580 helps you to qualify. Or if you had a 550, you may go to lender D, where lender D will let your 540 help you to qualify, but yet you need 5% down, which means FHA is going to bring 95% of the loan to the table. Okay? But I want you to understand something, that FHA allows you to receive a gift. So you can have your down payment gifted up to 5%. Okay? Your down payment can be gifted. Of course, a gift letter will be required and certified to say that this is a gift and that it's not a loan. Okay? Your seller can gift you your down payment. Remember now, you're paying your down payment now 5% plus closing costs. What is closing costs? They'll be on your GFE, your good faith estimate, another mortgage term. Your good faith estimate, in which those figures are put on the HUD-1. That's another name for it. Settlement statement. That's another name for it. RASPA. That's another name for them. All the same forms. But all the figures are taken off of the GFE. What's on the GFE? The lender's fee. If you got a mortgage broker, that I strongly recommend, the mortgage broker fee. The title company fee from where you're closing. Your attorney fee. If you didn't pay them up front. If you're closing at an attorney's office, they're allowed to tack on additional fees on top of the title company fee because you're closing at their office, okay? Any buy rate that you do will be added in that too. That'll become part of your closing cost, okay? Appraisal fee if you didn't pay them up front. House doctor, better known as house inspector, if you didn't pay them up front. Most of the time, they do require to be paid up front. Okay. Certain banks pay them up front, but then bill you out of the deal. All right. So these is part of your closing costs. So you have 5% plus closing costs or 3.5% plus closing costs. Now that minus your earnest money of $1,000 or whatever it is based on the property and the loan amount. That's taken out. The lender is bringing 96.5% to the table and 3.5 is what you have to pay. But if you have a credit score of 540 in this example, then you need 5% down plus closing costs. So the bank of mom and dad is going to cover your 5% along with that certified gift letter. So now all you have to cover is just closing costs. But I'm going to tell you something that the internet won't tell you, and even some loan professionals won't tell you, or they don't know, whichever is which. I'm going to let you know that you will receive a tax credit at the closing table, especially if you're buying from another person. You will receive a tax credit. If you have a mortgage broker, your mortgage broker will identify to you what the percentages are in number form of what you receive at the closing table back. That does not mean that you minus that out of your down payment. Doesn't work like that. You still must meet the required down payment and bring that to the the closing table. No exceptions to that rule. But you will receive a tax credit back. So you get some of that money back. Okay? Just to let you know. Requirement on the FHA will require you to have at least 2 years of income documents. I always ask people for 3. It was 3. Now I hear 2, so it's 2. But I'm gonna tell you 3. So at least try to have 3 years of income proof. Okay. Sometimes you've been on that job for 2 years, so you'll still make it. Well, I've been on this job for 1 year. Okay. And this is my full time, but I've been on my part time for about 7 years. All right. We'll then provide 3 years on part time and then the 1 year there and cross your fingers and hope that you can get accepted. Okay. Depends on what the income is and what you're buying and what your debt ratio is. If all these figures meet every expectation, then the underwriter can underwrite exceptions. Okay. Just want to let you know each one of these is different case by case differently. So I cannot give you a definite that you would make it in that. Okay, just gotta keep it real. All right. FHA requirements, and FHA is strongly stickler about their requirements. All right. And when underwriters do underwriting of their requirements, then they're libeling the servicer. So now if you default in that year time, the servicer has to buy that loan. Okay. So trust me, servicers are not going to sacrifice for people with low income or people with low credit score. They only want to do it for people who got good credit scores. So you know what to think about us. All right. So 2-year income documents, I say 3. The property must be a primary resident of yours, not an investment, or you can forfeit that loan. All right. You must have at least 6 months in reserve of what your mortgage payment would be. That's why you got to have a mortgage broker, baby, because he'll tell you what your payment is going to be. You can figure it up yourself. Okay. They got mortgage broker or they have mortgage loans software computations up that you can go to certain lender and key in $150,000 or a $100,000 sell price with an interest rate based on what you know your credit score is, and you know what you are qualified. Now you know you got 540 score, you're not gonna get no 4 point something. But one thing is good about on the FHA is that FHA helps you to get the going rate on the market. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Now, if you fail to meet the 580 credit score, so you're going to miss that 3.5% down, then your interest rate is going to take a little hit. Just got to let you know that. It's going to take a little hit. How much? Could be a quarter point, could be half a point, but it's going to take a little hit. Okay. So you need to know all the things involved in that. All right. So you need to meet the basic needs to qualify. You can punch in the interest rate that you know that you'll qualify for. It'll give you the monthly payments. You know you need 6 months of that in reserve plus. Put an extra 3 or 4 on top of that. Okay? You need these things. Those are not exceptional points to the rule. They're really not. Because you never know what will happen. And having these 6 months and the extra in there compensates you for the unexpected. When I purchased my house over 20 years ago and I moved in 30 days, my air conditioning unit went out. Despite the house doctor, which was the FHA inspector that inspected it and said it was ran very well, it went out. It's a man-made machine. No one knows what could happen. So it costs money to get it running so you can get some air in the heated heat out here at the time. Because we get 3 different seasons out here. So with that, that money was needed to help that. That's why that reserve is so needed. All right. That's why there's no exceptions to that rule under FHA. So you need to know these things. This is what you're going to need to have under FHA. Okay. Some other questions that came on my, that was text to me that I got from Instagram that I also received in from Twitter. I love you, Twitter, because I get a lot of good questions from Twitter a lot. You can go to Rick Montgomery on Twitter to Twitter me any questions that you may have. You can also email me just by going to mortgagetalk1@gmail.com. And you can ask me any mortgage questions that you may have. You can also go to Rick Montgomery Facebook page and inbox me. I get inboxed a lot. Inbox me any questions that you may have relating in the mortgage industry. More than happy to answer these questions for you. Okay, so you can do all of these things. Even Mortgage Talk has its own Facebook, so you can go to Mortgage Talk 1 Facebook, and then you can ask me questions even on Facebook. You don't have to inbox it; just put it out there. Rick, here's a question for you, buddy. Okay, just put it out there. Okay, so you have a lot of different areas of how you can reach me to ask me questions. You can even call into the studio. Now I'm getting used to the little kinks things here to try to work the phone system as well as talk. I mean, I can do multitasking. Yes, I can, but I'm learning this new system here. So bear with me a little bit. Had a little tough time on our blog talk today because, I mean, the phone lines were lit up. Thank you guys so much. Don't know what they wanted to ask me, but they were lit up and I kept hitting the wrong buttons. I mean, I kept hitting buttons that was cutting us off. I'm looking at Dave like, Dave, what are you doing? Dave looking at me like, what the hell did you do? So so bear with me there as I work out the kinks of the kinks. And I apologize to those on Blog Talk Radio that was unable to hit the right button to get you in. I will get that right. Please inbox me or Twitter me or email me any questions of concerns that you have or your comments about the show. Okay, that's how we get better. I get good comments, I get okay comments, whatever. I don't carry nothing on my sleeves. It's all about making the presentation better and better and better and better. And it gets that way from your input. So I accept all inputs, okay? Some of the questions that I've taken from Twitter and also that I've taken from my inbox. One of the questions came in from a borrower that I looked at as a basic question. It is because most people have these concerns. Most borrowers have these concerns and get confused on the answers to this particular question. Collections. FHA requirements for collections. Can I have collections on my credit and will FHA let me have them? All right, let me go over and I'll give it to you. If you have these accounts or even one and they total up to $2,000 or greater in debt, these debts must be paid or a settlement on these debts. And you need to provide documentation of proof of payment. And you need to provide documentation of settlement or a payment plan. And you must provide documentation of a payment plan. But the payment plan should not exceed your DTI ratio. Must provide to the lender proof, as I mentioned earlier, of any settlement, any proof that these accounts are paid in full, and any payment arrangement that will be calculated into the standard DTI set forth by HUD, which is 24/36. And I went over that earlier with you. Okay? Got to be in that ratio there. So, no, that's a nice way of answering it. Your collections no matter it's 5 years back and you haven't paid it, it will be automatically calculated